Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Don't Be Afraid podcast, and I am your host Jamila Oiza Muhammad Jamiu. Before I even start, thank you for always listening to our episodes. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, DBA_podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Today, we're talking beauty is lifestyle, fashion is lifestyle. What it takes to be a content creator in this digital age. And with me, I have...
Hi, my name is Ifnaya Emecheta.
I'm Deborah Umesidike.
And anyway,
talking
anywhere there are fine women, it's just only natural. That's all it has to be. He's in the midst of beautiful, awesome ladies.
I'm on the edge of beautiful. I'm on the edge of
Okay,
beautiful ladies.
on the edge.
Yes.
Okay, anyone.
Yeah, we're talking beauty, so it's only right I should be here. So,
To tap from the
Yeah.
glory.
yeah.
You
Sorry.
know.
No. So-
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, go on.
All right, so brief bio of our guests. Ifnaya is a beauty enthusiast and a content creator. Deborah is a beauty enthusiast and a writer. From experimenting with artsy makeup looks to meticulously editing beauty content to painting worlds with her words, she loves to create. She's also intrigued by content marketing, the psychology, the pure ingenuity. She says it's truly an art. Also, she's an Ofada rice addict.
Okay.
And that means anywhere you see Deborah, there has to be food. And most specifically,
Sorry,
Ofada rice.
Please, you gotta. If you need to see her. That there's no way. There's no way that she eats.
She
You can't.
eats. You know.
I don't see it. One of those people.
I don't eat.
Yeah, exactly. One
But
of
then
those
she
people
doesn't eat, but she's an Ofada rice addict.
Okay.
Please, make it make sense. Make it work.
Yeah. One of those people, your friends will hate you. The ones who
Go out.
straight out is unfair, very unfair. But you can't. I mean, what do you call it? I say you know better. I mean, that's why I'm on the edge. I'm sort of like, yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, today, like I mentioned earlier, we're talking content creation, and these two beautiful women are content creators in this digital age. So I would like to, any of you could go first. What does it mean to be a content creator in today's digital age?
Just purely express your whatever
Your
is
art.
going on in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Just pour that out. So
Mhm.
whether it's in form of text, like you tweet something, or you write a blog post, or take a picture, make a video. So yeah, that's all content.
Dancing, make a video eating a father rice. It's content.
Yes.
That part. What about you, Ifnaya?
So I think making content is just say maybe relative. So it's just you bringing things to life. Whatever it is you have passion for, whatever it is you're interested in, bringing it to life. Like she said, through text, through video, through image, whatever it is you decide.
And it's interesting that both of you are actually beauty enthusiasts, and I mean she's a writer as well. How did you get to where you are? How did you know that this is what I want to face? This is what I want to put out to the world to see and relate with.
how do you choose beauty?
How do you
That's
choose-
literally
Yeah.
what
How do you choose-
I quickly said. Yeah.
Funny story is that I think when I was in year one,
Yeah.
I actually hated makeup. Like I wasn't even a fan of makeup. I was like, why is this girl always putting makeup? They're looking very funny. And anytime I even tried using like eyeliners or like foundations and stuff, I was always like, this is not for me. At the 200 level, I had a roommate that she used to do makeup, and I'm like, this girl is not bad, and she's making it look nice. I'm like, let me try it out for myself. Let me just see how it is. I tried it out myself. I was like, okay, I look fine. I look fine now. I should continue trying it out. I think from there, I just picked up an interest and I just flew with it.
Where did you school?
University of Lagos.
Oh, right. Akokites.
Yes.
Yeah,
Proudly.
They want to eat
No,
me
no,
up.
no.
They want
Sorry,
to
as
eat
a-
me
As a
up.
non,
You went to Unilag too?
Yes, no.
as a what you call it? No, you can't. I mean,
You produced
talking
the
about
best.
form as opposed to function. There has to be a unilag. That's it. All they're worried about is
Excuse
just.
me,
is
there's
the form-
Unilori there.
No,
Unilori is
yeah,
there.
they're not worried about the content.
There's
It's just looking good.
only
not
Unilori, the better by far
Yes.
university.
There are only
Anyway.
two schools I know, Unilag and others.
Excuse
So-
you.
Period.
Excuse you.
Okay, all
So
right.
how was it mixing? Were you already a content creator in school, or you bloomed a lot outside of when you graduated, or you started from school?
So can I just step back a second? Sorry, I have to ask this because
Okay.
I'm of the generation that, I mean, what would you call it?
The old generation.
Very much so. Do you describe yourself as content creators? Because I mean, how do you then, when do you transition from, I see people who just take their phone and cameras and taking pictures of themselves all the time. Are they content creators or are they just taking pictures? So at what point do you transition? Do you describe yourself as a content creator?
Okay, I think at the end of the day, as long as you share on, social media, you're creating content really. But I think the title now came when it started getting monetized and people were now making money and making careers out of that. So that's where it now became like, okay, yes, I'm a content creator. I do this. I make money from this.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Because whatever you're putting out, whatever you're putting out is content.
Okay.
I'm taking a picture and I'm putting it out. I'm
It's
putting out
content.
content.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alrighty.
yeah, regardless of what it is, we have always been content creators. It's just that when you start getting like,
Really
get popular
monetized.
and everything,
Yeah.
we're like,
Digital
okay,
marketing.
this is
and
my
all
job.
of
I'm
that.
actually a content
Yes.
creator.
So have you guys like made money from it yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Like
have.
how much? What's the highest
Okay,
you
no-
Don't
made?
disclose that. Oh,
I can't-
sorry.
I can't
God.
Can I? Okay, no.
women.
Okay.
Okay, you made money from it. How? In what sense? How? Is it?
So-
Yeah, please.
Okay,
If
yeah,
not,
so brands will reach out to you and like, oh, this is what they want to do. This
Yeah.
is deliverables they have. What is my price? What is my rate? So I sent them a rate card on, and I think at that time I didn't even have a rate card. So I just said, okay, this is my price for this particular
to do,
for this
yeah.
particular thing. And they're like, okay, we can do this. So you send your video to them and they will have to approve it. So you can even make like multiple adjustments because it has to be what they want.
They want.
And they have a vision for what they want. And
Yeah.
it has to be exactly like that.
As in wanted.
So yeah, exactly. So we send it to them. They give us like feedback, change this, add this to that. When they are good with it, they allow it to fly. So sometimes they either post it on our own page on their page or just on their own page. So that's really how that worked.
okay, Deborah. How about you? When did you first? How did you make money from it? Same thing or?
Okay, when I started, properly creating content, it was, beyond just posting pictures on Instagram. It was 2020 during the pandemic. So I was just doing it for fun. It wasn't like I wanted to make money from
Out
it. I
of
just
it.
liked doing makeup and I just liked filming myself doing pretty makeup and, I just...
Fine
it was a-
girl.
it's a beautiful community,
Mhm.
the community of content creators because they can relate to you and yeah. So at first I was doing it for fun. Then I realized I could make money from it by promoting my own brand, so that's how I would say I make money from it.
Okay, so is it still the same sort of thing as brands reaching out to you, or because also I mean there's that element of I'm curious as whether you do makeup for other people, or is that where the money from, or is that where you make the money, or is it from the fact that you're a content creator? Does that make sense?
That
So is
makes
that
sense.
yeah?
Yeah. So for me, previously I used to do makeup for people. So that was like proper makeup artists going
Yeah.
to do job in people's houses
Yeah.
or them coming walking into a studio and all of that. But then as time went by after COVID, I switched career to marketing. Yeah. So I think at that time, going to people's places to do makeup became sort of a
Hustle.
right?
Yeah.
It was becoming very stressful. I was like, what other way can I
You.
even like, I love doing makeup. So what other way can I monetize it if I cannot be going to people's houses to do their makeup? So like it's simple. I can easily just be doing it on myself. Push like using brands products. I can start to use maybe Zara and for example. Use their product, tag them. They like what they see, and then okay, they can reach out to me and be like, oh, I saw this content you made. I want you to recreate this with that, and then they want to pay you for that. So that's just.
Okay. Okay. What was the feeling like the first time a brand reached out to you?
I was nervous. I think that was a feeling, just being nervous because now you have an expectation. Like you have to meet a particular expectation. So you cannot come and just give them any kind of work. You need to give them quality work. Yeah. So I was very nervous. I was like, I'm not going to get this right. I'm not going to get this well. But I was like, I'm doing this for a while, so there's no way I will not put in that effort. So I was like, let's just do this and let's kill it. That was it.
Over how long? How long have you been doing it for before that happened? So
okay.
yeah, how long had you been content creating before?
Let's say like maybe a year. year.
Okay.
Because I wasn't even very consistent, to be honest. So I wasn't consistent. I was just doing it, do it today, relax for a week, do it again. So I was not very consistent. So yeah, so when I became consistent in a particular period of time, then they reached out to me. I was like, okay.
Okay. What about you? How long did it take before? I mean, have you worked with brands?
Well, I have worked with my
Your
brand.
brand.
Okay.
What brand is that?
Raw Beauty.
Raw Beauty.
Yes, I'm
Shout
shy. I'm
it. Let's
shy.
hear it.
Be
Raw
shy, but speaking to the
Beauty.
camera. Be speaking to the microphone.
Yeah.
Raw Beauty.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yes, I've worked with myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I've entered contests, organized by brands, and I have won twice.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
Congrats.
then I also do product photography, so I have worked with a brand for that.
Okay.
Taking pictures of products.
Okay. Right. That's interesting. So you are willing to work with brands?
Yes, well, brands have reached out to me. I wasn't.
The values were not clicking.
Yes, it
Mm.
wasn't in line. Yes, it didn't align with what I wanted.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
because you have to be like selective with what you put out there, because your audience trusts you, so you can't just take whatever, just take anything, and then you have to be. I believe in honesty, so I can't be saying, "Oh, yeah, I love this product," and I
the product
don't
is
really
whack
like
behind.
it. So yes,
Okay.
that's one thing I'm very careful about in the beauty space.
I feel like people that want to become content creators, and this because it feels like it doesn't feel like that is one of the careers people are really looking out to becoming right now. So what key skills and qualities would make a successful content creator?
I'll just say a few. I'll not say everything at once, so you can help out if yeah. So I think first things first. I think if you have a phone, right, you need to everything involves money, no matter how much you want to say. Because I see some people say start with
What you have.
yeah, you understand, but you still need to have a little that would help you kind of. So let's say if you have your phone, you need to get like key things like even if it's lamp, you want to get a form of light. If you cannot create content using sunlight, let's say you want to create content in light, a form of light. I've seen some people that use like all these small reading lights to create content, right? So they use this small reading light and they're trying to make do with what they have. So just find a way to get those small things and start anyhow, even if you don't have everything yet.
Just do it. Just start somewhere.
Consistency. Me, I even struggle with it. But consistency is also very important. When you start, try and be consistent. Try and start bringing out quality work, because no matter how good the work you're doing is, if it's not quality, if it's not helping somebody else out, it's not going to make any sense.
And funny because I feel like, when I scroll through social media, I feel like consistency is something people really deal with. It's okay to start something, but you see the act of actually keeping through, of following through that thing you started, is where the big issue is. So what does one need to do to be consistent?
Well, I didn't start. What's consistent? What do you consider consistent? Is it
posting regularly?
Yeah, but what's regular? So I'm just trying to understand. Is it daily? Is it
daily.
Is it weekly? Is it monthly?
So
what's
at least 3 times a week.
For me, I believe it should be according to, like, you define what regular is. So if you decide I want to post every week, then show up every week.
Okay.
But yes, algorithms will favor you if you post as often as she mentioned.
Yeah.
But if you can't keep up with that, a lot of people that are
Means you
content
have to-
creators have other things that they do
Mm.
by the side. So it may not be easy to
Do that.
Post
show up
frequently, so you
Yeah.
just work
that
with your
frequently,
pace
and
at your
then-
own pace.
Yes, and then it depends on the kind of content that you create.
Create
So
too.
there's some types of content that would require a lot of work, a lot of editing, a lot of transitions. To be creating that every day.
Every day.
Yeah, but I think
Except you're
I
being
think that's why
used
most
well.
people batch create, because
Yes, you can
like the way
do
you
everything.
stay one day, you create
Like
multiple
contents, and
right,
then
and then you start posting. Maybe you have that for 2 weeks. You create content that you use for 2 weeks. right? And then you start posting, spreading it out, posting like that.
And then thank God for the
Help out.
scheduling feature on Instagram. You can now
Yeah.
schedule and just life is easy.
All right. Okay. But then again, I mean, sorry, not again, but it's interesting that, I mean, you know, do you have to understand algorithms? Because we talked beauty. You're in there to do beauty.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, I mean, you're having to learn how to, you know, do proper lighting, do editing,
Yeah.
do, what you call it?
Yeah, you have to study the app or the platform you're
working with.
Working
you
with.
have to understand.
because TikTok
it.
is different from Instagram. So
Mm.
what
Okay.
Instagram is going to push based off of what they want. It's not what TikTok will push based
Okay.
off of their own.
Already?
TikTok now they'll tell you, oh, you need to use SEO on your content. Like say what it is you're doing.
What's SEO?
Yeah, like saying like putting now I'm doing makeup for a beginner. So I'm going to put makeup
For
for beginners on my post so that when people search for makeup for beginners, my post
Your
comes
post
up,
comes out.
right? But before it
Yes.
was more of
Yes,
before
SEO on
TikTok was
is powerful.
TikTok was maybe good quality, use the hashtags and your post is
And it
going in. But
works,
now
yeah.
they're like use this, use
SEO
that.
specific.
Exactly. Use
So do
SEO.
you guys read up? Or do you read tips from them, or how do you learn?
Well, there are creators that are dedicated to educating. There are creators, that's their niche. Their niche is just to educate other creators. So
Yeah.
when you come across content like that, I mean, you get to learn without necessarily having to like go and read, and then just paying attention to detail.
Platform, yeah.
Like what she said about the SEO thing. There's a video I posted like about a year ago, and it still gets like likes till today on TikTok because I optimized it for search.
How did you explain that?
Yeah.
Explain what you mean. How did you optimize it for search?
Okay, so I used keywords in the video itself, in the caption, in the hashtags.
Okay.
I used keywords.
Okay, alrighty. And keywords being that, so are we talking that, you know, does that mean that, as you mentioned, for now you mentioned about the idea of, let's say makeup for beginners. Are we talking that in the video you have to talk about, this is a tutorial for, this is how to do makeup for beginners. So in the video, and then in the caption you write, this is the video for beginners.
Yes.
And then you then do hashtag
Even
that
if you
goes
don't talk,
beginners,
even
makeup
if-
for beginners.
Even if you don't talk, you can use
Yeah.
a voiceover, but
Yes.
they have to be called out. Those things have to be called out. So if it could be voiceover, it could be maybe you're talking as a voiceover, but it has to be called out as you're saying it. So you're talking, yeah. And now you see that so many beauty creators are now talking in their videos because they're trying to engage more with their audience, not just make a video with sound
Voiceless
and
videos,
just
yeah.
post. Now people want to hear stories. People want to know like how did
What's
you learn this
happening in
thing?
your life?
What's going on? How did
Who are
you
you?
pick
Get
up
ready
this?
with me
What
as
do you
I
care
talk to you about my
about?
ex-boyfriend.
Sorry, I always get Jamila always gets pissed off with me about this, because I listen, I get more questions coming to mind. So how do you? You talk about the stories. I was on a forum with some guys. I'm on a forum with some friends or whatever it is, and I'm always amazed. Or even when I look at Instagram, I'm always amazed at what people share.
Yeah.
That TMI kind of thing, or the balance of it. How do you? Because I'm a foodie. I know it doesn't show because of the six pack and everything. But but so often that I sort of sit there and wonder that, okay, listen, why am I sharing this? What is it? What am I trying to get out of it in this, just myself? And then so often I'll then go, oh, does anybody really want to see this? You know, even in my how do you draw the line, or what do you know where it's too much information, or is this a simply a case of like, look, if you want to make it as a content creator, you got to put yourself out there, you got to tell the story.
I think I've seen someone talk about this before, and I think she said something about having an outside, you know, like the personality that you want to show to the world, and you have to like define those boundaries. Like, okay, you can decide. There are creators that, yes, they'll talk about a lot of things, but then they won't talk about their relationships, or they won't talk about their family. So you have to define, you know, where to draw those boundaries. And yes, what you said about TMI, I mean, in this day and age, people share a lot, and you know, it's like you people should buy diaries and write your secrets there.
But doesn't algorithm? There seems to be that sort of like, the more information you share, the more you get rewarded for it, the more engagement you create.
So, because
but
people
they're
would
picking
comment.
they're picking on the key words. So like now I said, if you like now maybe you already created your video and you've put makeup for beginners as the SEO caption on the video, and you say it in your video, they have picked that up. You've picked up that part where you said makeup for beginner. They've picked it up, the fact that you've written it down.
Caption and
Caption.
hashtags.
So that's what they're going to show. That's what they will show, not the other. If I talk about your boyfriend, that's not what they will show.
But won't they? But sorry again, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we do
Yeah.
for our clients. So
Yeah.
it's interesting that thing of, because I mean, I can't even think of the number of content that gets posted daily.
Yeah.
No, okay, excuse me. I'm going to make a generalization. Everybody now knows that. You know, the same thing you were saying about doing. You Deborah, have said it. So, isn't it that there is a need to differentiate yourself, and
Yeah.
isn't there that need that, listen, look, what it then does is, okay, yes, I pick the keywords, but I also look at the engagement.
Yeah.
I will also look at how, you know, how people are reacting to it, because I mean, it's that sort of you read out now about, you know, there was a couple in America a few years ago where the guy died because him and his girlfriend were doing creating content, and it was about her shooting a bullet at him, and it was something like he was going to put a book in front of himself or whatever it is, believing the book would stop the
bullet.
he died. And you watch so much stuff now. There's a guy recently in in the UK who the police arrested because the guy walked into somebody's house and just sat there, and he was content creating, and it was like, you know, there's like, and it's like, hang on a second, dude, you're breaking and entering. You know, this isn't, you know, but it seems that sort of, you know, that need, you know, that you got to tell me more. You know, sorry, you guys. Okay, I'm going to say you guys because you're, but it seems that Housewives of Lagos or Housewives of Guinea, that the more shocking it is, the better.
Yes.
So it's like, how do you?
That's how the media has always been. You know, sensational stuff. Even, you know, back then you would see headlines that would, you know, shake you, and then you read the story and you're like,
Yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's always just been a thing, you know, the same way bad news would move faster than good news. So, I mean, that tends to get that shock value and that engagement. That does not mean that that's a sustainable way to grow.
I mean, so many people, always the word we use. Many people like amebo, right? So many, like, we like the gist, we like hearing those things. So when people are talking about, oh, I went to so place with so person, they know that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what happened next. Did he call you after that date? Did you? So you're already dragging people in. Like, even if sometimes it might be so much information, but you know that's what people are enjoying.
You have to be careful though, because the internet can be evil.
Yeah, because I remember there was a post I saw one time. This creator lady said, I mean, she puts out content that's this is her niche, this is what she does, and then just one day she goes out with her boyfriend, and then she puts it out on Instagram, and of all her content, that is the one that had the most engagements. And she's like, all of you people, why wanna like Amebo like this? I mean, I'm doing this for you people, but it's the one that has to do my personal life, that people now really engaging with. What do you people really want? So should you create content that really resonates with you, or what your audience wants?
Yeah.
So you know how they say your consumers are important when you're trying to sell something. Your consumers are very important.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the same thing. If you're trying to sell your craft, consumers are the person that's going to be watching it is very important, because if the person does not engage, no brand will reach out to you to say they want to work with you, right? And you won't get the sales, or they won't engage enough for you to say, okay, I like what this girl is doing. Sometimes, right? You sometimes, not that you have to go to extreme, but sometimes you have to know how, you know, pick up on what they enjoy, like what your audience is actually relating to and enjoying.
Yeah.
And find a way to find a balance. Like you can talk about it, but then don't compromise your own self or your own values based off of that. You know, so just keeping
which leads me, sorry, to two questions. All right. Sorry. First one is what works for you? As in, what have you found that when you do this, it works? That's question number one. I'll wait for that answer. Then I'll give you question two. Okay, what have you found? Because the reason I ask is that I remember listening to a talk by a brand that said something about the fact that they found, looking at their pictures, that if they use these 2-3 colors, it performs better than when they use these other colors. So I don't know if it's you found that, it's when you're in a landscape in your room as opposed to when you're outdoors or when you're getting dressed or whatever it is. Have you found what works for you? Have you defined that? Have you figured it? Or is it simply that?
So I found some things that work, but again, those things are ever changing. So sometimes you might need to switch things up. So as I started creating content, right, I realized that people don't have so much time to waste. So they want to see what you're doing ASAP. Like they want to drop this content. Let us just see what is going on. They don't want to. So I always used to make like really fast makeup videos. Like they just come like so fast, just like so, and people, it was getting like good views and all of that. But then at a point you're like, oh, you actually want to. Sometimes me actually want to talk about certain things regarding makeup, right? So I'm trying to now explore that side. But so far that has been working. The fast, let me just watch this video and keep it moving. Yeah.
Short form,
fast videos. Yeah.
Same for you, or?
I don't think I really have a formula. My formula is whenever I decide I want to do something, I try to be, extra with whatever I do. So I'm not the most consistent. Yes, I admit it. I've confessed. I've confessed. But whenever I do show up, I
show up with a bang.
Something like that. I try to, make up for my absence.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, your second question.
Second question.
All right.
What won't you do? Have you defined that? What's your limit? What's your limit? Have you defined it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Deborah, what's your limit?
I don't want to jinx it. Universe, I'm not jinxing it too. But I try not to do very clickbaity things, like what we talked about, the whole chasing clout, trying to put, it's not my mojo, and then to be dishonest, lie. Since I'm someone who is in the beauty space, there's a lot of dishonesty in that space. Like, oh, this product will transform your skin in 3 days. I'm not doing all of that. So those are some of the things I can, think of right now.
That would be the same for me. Just being yourself, original, and all of that.
What keeps you guys motivated to show up? I mean, you wouldn't show up that consistently, or if you show up, but what keeps you really motivated?
Okay, so money is very, very important.
I knew she was going to say that.
Money is very important, right? So one of the key things is that I want to make money, in my comfort zone. Right? I want to make money. I want to be comfortable making money. That space. Do you understand? So since I already like doing this thing and I'm making money from it, I'm comfortable. Like I like it, I enjoy it. So that's one thing that keeps me, aside the passion for makeup. Yes. And just to point out, I'm actually really passionate about creative makeup. So I used to draw. So I draw myself, I draw my body. So yeah.
Any tattoos?
I have tattoos, but like I'm just saying, like,
okay, no, they're just curious.
Okay, yeah, no, so yeah, so I draw like cartoons on my body, paint it with eyeshadow and stuff. Yeah, so I like to get creative like that. So because I like it. So yes, when someone wants to pay me for it, I'm like, yes, please run the money, run the check. You get so yeah. Exactly. I think it's definitely the passion, and money is high up. It's high up.
You motivated.
I don't want to sound like all these aspire to perspire people, but I feel like motivation can be overrated because in a world that I'm someone who has multiple interests. So, beyond beauty, I have other things I'm interested in. So for me, it's just building discipline to be able to like show up for something I enjoy doing. As she mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I like to write. I learned how to sew. I wanted to be a fashion designer. That was my dream job when I was a teenager. So, I have so many interests. I work in marketing. So I think for me to just building that discipline to show up, not really relying on motivation, because yes, I love makeup. Yes, I love doing makeup. I love watching makeup videos, but that may not always be enough motivation. So it's just telling myself, babes, you like doing this thing, so just show for yourself, please. So yeah.
And I can imagine that. I mean, in the digital space that we are, everyone is creating content. there obviously will be challenges that you guys pass through. And even when we scroll through social media, you hear, why would you pick my content without even tagging me? Why don't you give me the credits? I told for like how many day and nights to create this thing, and then you just post it without giving me credit. You even change my song. How do you guys deal with that? Are there other challenges that you, aside from this, that you guys pass through, go through? How do
For
you
the
deal with
challenges,
it?
Right? I think one challenge is that I think that a lot of people don't talk about is the fear of actually going viral, right? Like there's a fear of actually going viral, because then when you go viral,
How do
you have
deal
to
with
keep
it?
up. Like
Okay.
you are going to be in public eyes, so
Mhm.
it's like, are you ready for that kind of? I'm
Sorry, that's really interesting because
yeah.
I think that the point of doing this is to go viral.
Yeah.
But it's scary.
But then it's
though.
still
If
very
you're not
scary
ready
because
for that
exactly.
virality at that point
Because
in
so many
your
things
life.
come with being viral, right? There's going to be people saying good and bad things. Are you ready to hear those bad things? Are you ready to take all those bad things? You know, so people are actually very scared of going viral, because I'm like, I'm doing a 9 to 5. If I go viral, will I be able to continue this? Will I be able to keep up with this zeal that I'm dropping? You know, and people come like, auntie, you posted 3 weeks ago. Where are you? You know, they'll come for you. So are you ready for all of that? So I think that's like one major challenge that me personally I have as well, right? I'm like,
So do you check? So sorry, I mean, sorry
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this because, as I said, Jimila hates me for this. As in, you lead one, I go
only I
take me,
could. I
takes
just
me,
don't have the
I know,
right.
takes me somewhere, takes me somewhere.
yeah,
So do you check your likes when you post?
Yes.
likes, comments,
that's
because you have to
the
even engage your
challenge.
comments.
That's actually a challenge, tying your
Emotions.
you may
to
end up
the-
tying your self-worth as a creator
Yeah.
to your engagement. So that's what I was even going to say. That's a major challenge because you work so hard on something. Me that I hardly show up, I finally decide, okay, let me show up today. Instagram will say, nope, your video is not going anywhere. We're not showing it to anybody. And that can, feel very demoralizing because it's like, do you know how long I toiled for this video?
It takes me back. There's a time I mean, I'm not okay. Maybe I'm a content creator. Maybe there's a time I used to go to the gym sometime last year, and
She used to go. She went twice. So stop
so
saying
it was not
stop saying
twice.
you were going.
It
She
was
went
for
twice.
a full month. It was for a full month.
Okay, she went twice
Okay.
in 1 month.
Don't
That's
believe
it.
Tolu, please don't believe Tolu. So I went to the
Okay.
gym and I wanted to wrap up like, okay, this is end of the month. This is my progress and all. I did my voiceover and I kept after I posted it, I was saying 1K view, 2K view, 3K view. It got to 10K. I was like, this content, no. 10K views, 20K views, 22K views. I was like, what is going on? And that's the highest of all my posts. Every other one, I think that's the highest I've gotten so far of all the content I have on my own personal page. Any other thing, but I mean, I didn't tie it up. I was just really amazed that, wow, 22K views. No, it was really. I'm just imagining if I had to like really tie myself, my emotions to the fact that okay, this is the highest I had, and I'm just really stressing to please people on the social media space that they keep on liking, and then I'm not really getting that energy back.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, like even me, it's weird. I'm active. I mean, because of the work we do, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
TikTok.
I've got TikTok. I've got Twitter. I am more of a consumer than a poster because, as I said, I don't. Once in a while, I get something and I go, okay, yeah, I'll put that out there. I took a picture of a lady recently, 4 or 5 days ago. I saw her walking past and I thought that's going to be an interesting picture. I haven't posted it yet because I'm still trying to get my head around why would they. But anyway, it's that I still, even at my 200 followers and whatever it is that are all my friends or my family kind of thing, I still, if I post it, I still know the whether it's endorphins, whether it's the euphoria when you see the like.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can't help but go back and check.
Yes.
And then you start to wonder that, okay, hang on a second, they're not, why not, and all that kind of stuff. And it's such a, okay, I can imagine how addictive it can be
Yes.
and stuff,
Yes.
and that thing. So which is why I was saying that I'm surprised that thing about people's fear of going viral. I think, I mean, I always assume that's why people do it, is they want to become.
Yeah.
Viral.
So Do you want to become rich or famous? Sorry, which is it?
Rich is more important. I'd rather have money than be famous.
Okay. From this.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
From content creating, is it fame or is it wealth?
can't I have both?
You can, but which one? You can have both. But
God.
you can have both, but which one?
Wait, if I choose fame, can I be rich from other means?
Yeah, no, but it's just curiosity about whether or not it's there. So
It's not hard though. I'll get back to you.
yeah, so she's chosen fame. Okay, no problem. I'll choose for you. It's fame. But when was okay around this? Has anybody that you don't have you been recognized? Do you understand that somebody randomly has come to you? No one's come to you and gone. Yeah.
I've not gotten to that level yet.
I never blew yet, but I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so if I go to a beauty event, like the makeup fair that happens twice a year in Lagos,
West Africa.
so I mean, anytime I go there, I tend to see people I know, or some people may even recognize me and be like, "Oh, you're Raw Beauty," and I'm like, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, which is I'm sorry, I've got to say, guys, sorry, we actually all work together. It's amazing because Deborah, if you meet Deborah, I mean, like my first impression is
She cannot work a day in her life.
no, not even the work day. She's so shy.
You've been bullying me.
It's not so much. But then again, maybe
Okay.
I come in and I go to my in one direction, and so. But I remember Deborah the first few times. It was sort of like and so it's amazing that when I found out that you do this, because it's that sort of it's so public. The chances of that thing of the exposure, you are opening yourself up to people, and you said it about that thing of like, are they going to like you? Are they not going to like you? So it's that, and she's extreme. From the little bit I know, and I might be wrong because she's been sitting here bullying people and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But she come across as really, really shy. So I don't know if it's
Shy.
Why are you saying
This is
this?
wrong.
You don't come off as shy.
At
Okay.
all.
I'm shy.
I'm rolling my eyes.
I am
Yeah.
shy.
Bombastic
I-
side eye.
Maybe
Deborah,
she's
don't do
maybe
that.
She's selective with being shy.
yeah, exactly. Could be.
This is my
Could
brand.
be. Okay. No problem.
Shy girl.
No, okay.
I'm
All
going
right.
to rebrand.
Okay, alrighty. So how do you guys? I mean, because it is so public. How do you? Okay, have you had trolls? Have you had to deal with trolls?
Not really.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
Not really. Not
there's
really.
some comments because I just started even trying to post on YouTube, right? Because before it was just mainly TikTok, Instagram. So I started trying to post on YouTube, and there was a mean comment, but I'm like, oh, what is this one? And maybe because it was just one comment, it's very easy for me to just delete. But I felt that if I had seen more of that, I would have definitely felt
worried.
bad a bit, right? But it was just one bad comment. I was like, just one bad comment.
How do people
Delete.
actually even deal with these comments that are negative? Yeah, the toxicity that comes with all these
don't
negative
know.
comments. How do
don't
do
know, they
you
go see their
live with it?
therapist. Don't know.
Would you is it as they're giving you back to back, you be giving them back to back to give them woto, or you
can
just ignore?
You can think. I feel like you can just brainstorm like possible mean words and then just filter them out so you don't get to see them. That's how I would approach it. Because I would rather just not see
See
negative
it.
stuff because I know how triggered I get. I'm a very sensitive person. So if I see a comment that is too negative, it can really mess with me. I may not feel ugly. Like if someone says, "Oh, you look ugly," I'm not going to cry and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so ugly." No. But I'm just like, how dare you? Like, how dare you go to my comment section to tell me this?
Yeah, no, which is again. I mean, that's still part of the
That's
thing
it,
about
yeah.
So how do you,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the risk. But I suppose it's like
And people would always be. I think I've started conditioning myself because I was someone who was always like scared of negativity on social media. But I started conditioning myself that for someone to like be scrolling on social media and then stop and then leave a very like mean comment, that person is
Does not
somewhat
have time.
miserable and they want to spread that misery. It's the truth because I see things I don't like on social media all the time. That does not mean I would go to the person's comment section and
Start
bully
saying
them or
hateful-
say any mean thing. So
But those
you
were
can just
bullying me
scroll.
since, so.
I didn't bully you. I was just stating facts.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Anyway,
keep on. Imagine another
so
one.
I just convinced myself that they're miserable people because why would you do that? Anytime I see people being mean in the comment section, I'm always like, this is so unnecessary. I mean, the other day I was ranting in someone's comment section. I hardly ever comment, but they were bullying this girl that was crying, and I'm like, you people are wicked. You people will talk about mental health, but someone is coming online to cry, and then people are laughing at her, you know, and it was really messed up.
I
Anyway.
think you just need to, if you know you want to be viral, if you know you have to start preparing yourself mentally
Yes.
for things like that, because it's going to come. Even if you filter, trust those people, even if you filter, they will find you wherever they will come. So I think you just have to prepare yourself
Spam
mentally
accounts.
that, okay, this will come along with the work. It comes along with it. So how will you deal? Because now I think now it depends on individual. How will you deal with it? Someone like me now probably ignore the comment or delete. Right, but somebody else can even make. I know some people that will make a video on that comment.
Yes.
They'll see comment
And
saying,
it's
"Oh,
so
see your fat head,"
depressing.
and they'll click comment and
Sorry,
make a
Gabo.
video and be like, "The person called me a fat head." Or look at this, you know. That's how they deal with it. So you just have to find the best way for you how you deal with certain negative
And then
comments.
take time off, you know, because sometimes it can get overwhelming. Because there's so much out there. So it's important that you also, like, you know, the same way you take a leave from work, so you should also take a leave from your content
Socials.
creation, from your socials.
How do you? I mean, it's interesting because I mean, it's the biggest. I mean, there is that still ongoing conversation about the impact of social media and mental health and stuff. And I think it's such a dangerous. I mean, it's like yin and yang. Just the same way that it can give you that euphoria. That, I mean, there's the opportunity or the flip side of it going down, and it's trying to. And I really do believe that there are people who go and make comments for the sake of making comments, purely because of that belief that it will spark, or what do you call it, a reaction. And that's what they're doing. They might call you ugly, not because they believe it, but no, it isn't. And I mean, sort of, it's not even spreading misery. But it's not. You see, sorry, if I may, and this is not. I'm really curious about the psychology of it, because I don't think. I remember many years ago I looked at it and I couldn't understand. I was looking at a YouTube video and I couldn't understand why people would watch a YouTube video and use the I couldn't understand it, and it was like something like, well, why watch it? Just move on, that kind of thing. But I also think that there's an element of, it's not that I'm miserable and so you must be miserable. I actually believe that some people just think like
there's too much positivity.
No, not even positive. No, but you see that means that they've gone out from the point of view of hurting you. I don't think that's it. I think they've done it from the point of view of reacting. That then they're looking for a reaction. They're looking for. They're not. It's not about. It's nothing personal. So which sounds really weird.
I think it's personal, though.
No, because it's not.
I think it's
Okay, let me.
Or is it more like you watch a video? Okay, I think the video is nice. I like it. Should I like it? Should I? Okay, yeah, I like this stuff. And okay, I don't like the video. I just put it thumbs down views. Should I? Okay, I don't like it. And then I feel like it's kind of like a review. If you see the more likes, okay, I think this video really makes sense. And if you see more dislikes, it doesn't really make sense.
No,
like that.
but then my thing was then why did you watch it? If you didn't like, it's like you started watching. I don't like the song. Like I'm on the radio. No, I don't like that. I move on.
I think it's a spite thing, because you just see a video and you're like, you have plenty of likes. I'm gonna be the first dislike.
Yeah, but it's not, which is not spreading negativity. It is.
Why can't you just let them have no dislikes?
There was something recently. There was in the UK there was the FA Cup, and there's been a big thing about Liverpool, and there was a tragedy many years ago in Hillsborough where a lot of Liverpool supporters died in a match, and one guy from a team, the guy went out and he made a T-shirt. Right, this is many years on. He's going to watch a game that doesn't even involve Liverpool, two other teams, and he makes a T-shirt that takes the piss out of that incident. And you think, but why? This is such a, and I think it's stupidity. I mean, definitely the guy's been arrested and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's cheekiness. It's that sort of like, like the guy, like I mentioned, the guy who walked into someone's house and sits there and starts, making his video. And his friends are going to go there and sit there and go, and it is, and we reward not misery. We reward that because we engage with it. There was a guy, I don't know if many years ago, when some guy had a go at Nigerian guy had a go at Michelle Obama. And the guy's comment was something about you that you be sitting there when something like, okay, when all your mates are having male children, all that kind of stuff. And I can imagine that it was not, and I don't know the person, but I sort of thought, no, look, this was just somebody who was trying to get noticed. So it wasn't about the negativity. It wasn't about the fact that he really believed that male children were better. It was just a matter of like, everyone's talking about this thing. And if I do this, because it's such a fine line, and comedians always say that thing of like, listen, look, you walk such a fine line between, between funny and not. And so yes, there's hate and there's evil out there. And I think, and that's the thing about, listen, look, you don't even need to put yourself on social media. You walk along and there are people who just hate you for the sake of hating you.
Yes.
But that thing of, I think it's such a, you talk about the psychology of it. It's an area that I'm really, really curious about, and beauty in particular, because there is that risk of people coming at you that, you assume that,
you
just need to pick features on your face.
Why
have a big nose?
Someone made a comment about my ginger hair. And I remember seeing the comments, and like I said, I get triggered. So when I saw it, I was like, who be this person? She was like, your makeup looks good, but your hair has got to go. And I said, nope, not in my comment section. Like usually the old me will probably just have deleted the comment. I said, no, I'm going to respond. So I responded. I was like, no, you have got to go. It's not my hair that is going. And then the babe was not like, no. And then she followed me, and I'm like, so why did you do that? So like you said, maybe she just wanted attention. But I feel like it still comes from a point of misery, because if you're happy with life, like why are you seeking attention?
Yeah, I mean,
you
can just easily say, oh, your hair looks nice,
but
please
that's
follow me or something.
No, because I think that's the danger where the algorithm or we reward
negative.
Not negativity, we reward yang. Do you understand? Because it's that thing of like, listen, look, as content creators, I wonder how much beauty content is posted every single day.
There's a lot.
Exactly. So how do you differentiate yourself? How do you get them? Because, if you're going to make money, for you to make money, you've got to get a following. So, there is that temptation. There is that thing. I mean, I was writing a blog many years ago, and I sort of just to practice, I said, okay, look, I'm going to write a blog post every single day for a year. And I wrote something about sex. And I said, okay, listen, I want to see whether or not it picks it. And I wrote, it was something about, let's say, me walking down the street, and I went, today sex, I sex, went sex, just to see whether or not the thing would pick up and whether people would react and whether that would get picked up. I can't remember if it did, but it's just that sort of like, listen, look, there's certain things that, these algorithms seem to pick. I don't know. It's just, I mean,
you have to be ready for the backlash.
So no, I mean, just it's a really, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, okay, but sorry, as a guy looking at three beautiful young women, I've talked about the negativity. How do you deal with the sliding into your DM?
I mean, sliding into DM like negative? Or
No,
just
a guy. Yeah. Have you had it? Have you had that?
DM, my contents.
No, yeah, it's sort of fine, girl. I'd like to take you out and all that kind of stuff.
I mean,
I think that happens with anyone.
Even normal pages.
Even if you're not a
in respect to
most
content creation, how do you
most
do
of my
it?
followers are
Females.
Okay. Because again, I mean,
and if it does, it depends. If it's someone that I want to be friends with, then why not? You never know who.
Yeah, which is the thing. Is you just there's that where how do you meet people anymore? How do you how does somebody approach you? I see somebody online, and yes, okay, I'm not going to send you a dick pic, but it's sort of like, oh, listen, look, hey, would you call it? I like you. I think you're very pretty. Would you that? How do you do you then research? You said, okay, if I like you, do you then do the back and go back to
go through their page first to see if you like what you see.
Okay.
If you don't like what you see, say no.
Okay. Straight away.
Yeah, so you need to access,
Okay.
the person
It
looks
probably would be a
good.
request.
Yeah.
Lots of times it may be like a request, so you
Yeah.
can decide not to.
Exactly.
To
Just,
accept
I think
that
it's just based
request.
on
Okay.
now. You can go through it. See that, okay, it looks decent.
Okay. Have you met it?
Nice.
Sorry. And okay.
Yeah.
Which school? Have you met anybody?
I've met a lot of people from social media because I think like that's really even where I even meet a lot of people. Not even in person, because in person I go out with my friends and so many people don't want to approach you when you're with your friends because you are chilling together. So most of the time I usually meet people online.
Guys.
Yeah, guys.
Okay. Have you met anybody? Deborah.
Mm-hmm. Back
Mhm.
in the day.
Which one is back in the day?
This is
she's one
this
old
is
man.
her share. There's a deeper there's something deeper there for another day. Is there-
No. It's not because of my content creation. I mean, it's Instagram. I remember someone talking about how Instagram is basically like a dating app. It's people meet people there. You see someone's picture, you like their story. Before you know it, you reply to their story. You're like, nice this, and then before you know, you start a conversation, and
Friendship is
and friendship is built.
Yeah.
not
Thank you
always
very
friendship,
much. Thank you. Which was friendship. Which was
I
friendship.
don't
Those people are not
think
coming
it's-
to you to be
I don't
friends.
I know.
So-
Can men and women be friends? I mean, that's a different question
you
for a
can
different
make
thing.
them- You can make
You can
them
zone them,
friends.
that's what I'm trying to
right?
say.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it doesn't have to necessarily be with you being a creator. It could just be your regular Instagram account. You just share your regular posts as a regular
Okay.
individual and still have people slide into your
Okay.
DMs.
Alrighty. I know we're running out of time, but I want to ask both of you tips. Two, whether if you have 5 or even if you have 2 or 1, what tip do you give? What tip would you give to content creator? Anybody?
Don't compare yourself with any other content creator. Right? You can learn from them, but don't compare yourself because you see one creator that is doing better than you in the same niche, and you're like, oh, she has all the big camera, that's fine. She started from somewhere to get to where she is. So it's better you take a tip or two, watch her videos, learn 1 or 2 things, pick up something, and then continue your craft. But don't say, oh, because I'm seeing so many creators that are better than me, let me leave this space, or I'm sad, I'm depressed. No, because there's many creators that are good. So instead, improve yourself, learn and grow and get, surpass them if you even can. So that's one.
All right. Thank you. Deborah.
Okay, the tip I would have, and I've said this in one of my videos, not on my regular page, one of my videos, I opened a page and I abandoned it. So I said, we all are main characters in our own lives. You're a main character in your life. I'm a main character in my life. She's a main character in her life. So as a creator, as someone putting out content, you have to remember that you're a main character in your life, but other people, they are their own main characters. So when you realize that, you understand that if you want them to care about what you're posting, you have to cater to their interests to an extent. So find a bridge, like, okay, this is what I'm interested in. So why should these people care about what I'm interested in? So always have that in mind when you create content. When you think of a video idea, you're like, okay, so why should anybody stop when they're scrolling and watch my video to the end? And when you have that at the back of your mind, it will just sort of guide you. So instead of saying, get ready with me, you may think of a better way to frame.
Agree with me.
You may think of a better way to frame that. So instead of saying, this is what I do, you can say, oh, if you're having this problem, this is what you should try. Just stuff that would actually meet their needs and add value to them. So that's something I always think about. Anytime I'm scrolling and I see videos, I'm like, this video has so much potential. If this person would just have framed this hook differently. So I'm always analyzing people's content instead of creating my own. But yeah, that's something I believe in. You should always think of other people. I remember when you asked the question about, should you do what you like or what your audience likes? You should find a way to bridge them. Obviously, you can't do everything that people ask for, but then just find a way to bridge it and ensure that, yes, you're doing what you love, but then other people, if you want them to care, then you have to care about them.
Right. How much have you spent? How much does it cost you to be a content creator? Just as in roughly, are we talking, I'll give you ranges, alrighty? And I know you've been doing it for many years. So I'm going to factor that in. 0 to 100,000, 100,000 to 400,000, to 500, 500 to a million above.
No, so I'll say 100 to 400 because I'll say 100 to 400.
That's what it cost you so far.
Yeah, that's what it costs. I'm seeing it on my phone. So if I move to the camera phase, I'll probably be entering the 500 to
Yeah,
yeah,
400, 500,
yeah,
500 above. Okay, Deborah.
There's no fixed. I won't say there's
No,
a
I'm saying give me a
No,
range.
I know you want
Time is
a
running
range.
out.
When,
Time
when
is.
she said the phone thing, because in my mind I already factored in my phone in the
Okay,
cost. So you know,
okay.
by the time you add an iPhone, you add. I use 2 lights, and that would be like 100 for 2 lights, but that's not all. I mean, I painted my room white so that I'll be
Okay.
able to have that. Okay, maybe like the same range.
No, but your
she-
phone.
she
No, but then you
gets.
bought your phone because
Before,
of.
yeah. Okay.
You bought your phone because of the quality of it to get that content. So you must. I think you need to factor it in.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to factor the phone in because it wasn't. You didn't just go and buy. You know, you knew that. Okay, listen, I was going to use. Although I use it as a phone generally, but I know the quality of the output is going to give me that. So I think you need to
so
factor in.
if that's the case, then if it's hitting 400 to
Yeah, definitely above that, because you also buy products as a
Yeah.
beauty
Alright.
creator.
Okay.
you actually have some people that you have to actually go outside. Some people actually go outside to create their content. Like
Yes, so they spend
Food,
money
yeah, all this
going
stuff.
outside.
Okay. My last question, and then I'll hand over to you. Is there
Done
a
already.
good Nigerian? No. Okay, 2 questions. Sorry. Time's run out. Good Nigerian makeup brand.
Yeah.
Is there a good one?
Yeah, I know one.
yeah. Am I supposed to say their name?
Yeah, go on.
There's Tara.
Tara.
Yeah.
Is that Nigerian? And I mean Nigerian, not
Yeah, Tara is
the
Nigerian.
not made
No,
not
no,
made
no.
in something and
Tara
then
is
brought in.
Nigerian.
Tara Nigerian.
Okay, what you mean made in
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Yeah.
I don't think they really manufacture in Nigeria. They tend to manufacture in maybe
But is it
China,
Nigerian
Dubai,
owned?
but then it's owned and branded, by Nigerian.
Okay.
So there are a lot. Kind of
there are a lot.
mention there are
Yeah.
Actually, a
a lot.
lot.
Beauty
Okay.
by
And as someone
AD.
who is in
Mm,
that,
Beauty by
as someone who
AD,
is in
Beauty
that
is
beauty
really
retail
good.
space,
Okay. All right.
so I
Okay.
dabble in a lot of
Makeup
that.
secret. One makeup secret to leave us with.
Less is more. I'm a strong believer in that. You don't need to cake on so much foundation. But I mean, if you want to, I don't mind. So then you buy more foundation.
Makeup secret.
Businesswoman.
One makeup tip:
Yeah.
just express yourself as much as you want freely. If you want to draw your eyeliner to be long, feel free to do that. Just enjoy yourself as you're doing it.
The world is your oyster.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got more questions, but I'll shut up because Jamila will kick me.
Nah, I think we're already
Yeah.
done. So
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm taking a okay.
yeah.
Sorry. There's always what
Yeah.
would you call it? I always find this thing interesting and
Interesting.
engaging and the chance to ask the questions and stuff. So I'll keep asking questions after we go offline.
Okay.
But over to you, Jamila.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me my job back. So you guys, we've come to the end of today's podcast episode. I enjoyed it. I'm sure my guests did. Tolu took over, but I took over at the end. So like I always say, thank you guys for always listening. Don't forget to follow us on our social media page, DBA_podcast on Instagram, on Twitter and TikTok, Apple, Spotify, Google. Don't forget to listen up. If you're working out, if you're at work, or anything you're doing, just listen and have fun. And thank you very much, guys. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.